Council is here.
Is there a name that we can call this council?
We're the Council of Light.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you for asking for our presence and for our guidance.
Is there anything you'd like to share before we start this journey?
We want you to know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be on your path, that everything is flowing beautifully, and all of your concerns you can release.
Beautiful. Thank you. Now, before we started this session, Sonia and I were talking about the oversoul, oversouls, and we were wondering if you could give a little bit more clarity for humanity of the breakdown of those.
We will bring in Sonia's Oversoul to answer your questions about the Oversoul specifically.
Thank you.
This is the closest Oversoul container for Sonia.
We
Please
welcome
ask
and
your
thank you.
questions, of course.
I guess, what would be a digestible way for us humans to understand the breakdown of the oversouls?
Digestible in what manner?
Let's start with, she mentioned 9 tiers, so maybe let's start with the first.
9 levels of Oversouls. Beginning Oversoul is the container of all Oversouls. It is the original cell. You can think of it as a cell, like a cell in the human body. It is called the monad, mono, meaning the one cell. It is, you could think of it as an expression of all that is. It is not what you would think of as God. For what you think of as God from the holy texts on your planet, it is an expression of light. The monad is an expression of light, whereas what you think of as God is actually the co-creator of your species, what you know as the Anunnaki or the Anu.
Fascinating.
So therefore, what many think of as God is actually the oneness, all that is. Some beings refer to all that is as prime creator. Some refer to all that is as universe, but there are multiple universes known as multiverses. In this particular universe, this sector is your universe. So the last Oversoul container that Sonia's energy emanates from, this is a mental universe. It is predominantly mind, thought patterned. So the top layer of Oversoul, the largest container with the original seed blueprint in it, is the monad, and it desires to express itself. And so it reflected outward and created a second container. It's called Dyad. Dyad is a reflection of monad. Dyad meaning dual. And it desired to express itself again because the expression was very revealing to itself. And its third expression is Triad, or the Trinity. These three created more layers and levels all the way outward like a ripple to the Oversoul container that the one that is Sonia is emanating from.
Thank you for that information. Now, could these levels be compared to dimensions? We hear a lot of people talk about 3D, 4D, 5D. Is this in any relation to that?
Yes, the dimensions are connected to the levels and layers of Oversouls, just like they are connected to levels and layers of what you call galactics, that are just beings of light expressing themselves in lower densities or higher densities. The same as what you would call angels or angelics, archangels or archangelics, and so on. And of course, there are levels and layers of expressions of light, all that is in between the dimensions. These are known as the realms in your world, in your language.
Thank you. Speaking of angelics, Sonia had mentioned that Archangel Michael was the lead dude. Could you elaborate a little bit more on the levels of angelics?
So, as all that is desires to experience itself, it decided to reflect itself outward. And its reflection is what you call on your planet the archangelic level. This is the first level of expression. It is non-dense. It is pure light, but with a small expression of singularity or difference from all that is. All that is enjoys learning about itself in this manner. And so the highest level of archangel, the collective that you call Michael or Michael, which is protector of God in your human terms. And this expression, Archangel Michael, desired to experience itself and created a level that you would call angel or angelic, known in some previous texts as legion of angels. The angels serve those beings, those expressions of light that are below in frequency, as there is no hierarchy in these levels or layers. It's just about denser frequencies of expression. The angelics will serve those beings that desire to lower their frequency to a denser frequency, to express themselves to the point where they feel that they have cut off themselves and their energy from allness, or what you would call the source. The angels or angelics help out these denser beings, these denser expressions of oneness that you would call humans, animals, minerals, plants, and other beings in other life forms on your planet and on other planets.
So these same angelic beings are the same throughout the universe. It's not just for Earth and humans.
Not just for Earth or humans, this is correct. The angels are for all beings, and they serve, they protect you from your own distorted perceptions, what you would call fear. They guide you, help you to stay on a path that you desire to experience yourself through in lifetimes. They serve.
I love that. Now, speaking of serving and protecting, where would a spirit guide fall on this? Is that a form of an angel?
Every soul that is actually a ray of the higher self, the higher mind, when you're speaking in the third dimensional term, every soul has multiple angels that guide always and are there always for direction, for comfort, for answers, for guidance. And this is on all planets, in all realms. The angels, they practice and perform many difficult tasks and journeys to help every soul accomplish what they came into the density, or a life, as you would say, to accomplish in learning about themselves. Every life is designed so that the oversoul that emanates the rays of the higher self, the higher mind, and the third and fourth dimensions, every experience is for the oversoul to learn about itself.
Hmm. How many angelics would you say the average person has around them at any given time?
It could be as low as 30. It could be as many as 500, depending on what the soul asked for before incarnating, depending on what the situation is of each life. Sometimes more angels are asked to come in than were assigned to the soul. There are an infinite number of angels. There is no limitation.
Well, I think the fact that you said at least 30 should be a comforting feeling for many. That's an amazing number. Is there any advice on how we can just more easily stay connected with these angelics? Any advice?
You can call in your angels simply asking with your heart open. No need to do any hand gestures. Angels, your presence, please, and be open to receive them. You can share with them through the mind telepathically what you would like their assistance with, or you can speak it out loud through the mouth. It doesn't matter.
Thank you. Is there anything else on this subject that you'd like to share before we move on?
The angels are always with you. And many could call them in more. The angels love to serve. It is their purpose. Many of them have decided to descend from the higher dimensions, desiring to experience density in physical form. And there are many that walk around in human form and other forms on your planet and on other planets, unbeknownst to them. They have forgotten.
Thank you. Now, switching gears here a little bit, we don't want to spend too much time on this, but we were curious on, with the recent news, I guess you could say, around the politics. Trump. Can you give us a little bit about Trump? We need to know what's going on here.
The one that you call Trump is a big catalyst for change on your planet. His soul made big agreements, what you would call karma. And the soul wanted to accelerate on his path of learning about himself. We'll use the term him. Soul is both masculine and feminine, however.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great catalyst for change. He comes originally from the star system in Orion's belt and came in to bring a lot of awareness on the shadow aspect of humanity. He is what you would call a shadow worker, even though he is light. And we know it may not seem like he's light, but everything is light. He is contracted, made agreements with many councils, including the Council of Gaia, Council of Earth, to expose the greater depths of shadow in humanity, so that humanity may see the shadow and make more loving, more cohesive decisions to balance the light and the dark, which needs to still be balanced. It is become more balanced and it will become more balanced, but it is a journey in the third dimension in balancing it. He holds this one, Trump, Donald Trump. He holds a lot of fear in his cells, and he expresses it through ego bravado, you could call it, as we are showing Sonia the recent assassination attempts. It's pushing him, and it's pushing the collective to see their violent ways and to cease the violence and to find and create a healthier or heart-centered way of resolving your differences within your collective. He is a catalyst for change. Humanity needs an extreme archetype in order to change, because until you do change your ways, you're going to continue looping in this cycle of fear and self-hate. the more extreme places, of course, where self-hate is rising so that it can change is, of course, the Middle East, areas of Africa and Asia. And not to say that North America does not have its levels of hate, it does. There's tremendous fear in North America. But the extreme levels of fear are in those areas that we just spoke of. Trump is a catalyst for all countries to see the imbalance, the fear, the greed, the deprecation of the feminine, the damnation of the feminine. He's only been exposed in his egocentric behavior a tiny amount. More exposure will come in, as many ask themselves, including the channel here. We are still allowing someone who has been convicted of being a criminal to run for presidential office. Really? Many have asked themselves this, including the channel. These questions need to be asked because many need to say, is my vote counting? How am I voting? How am I living? Am I really focused on what's happening in my neighborhood, my community, my town, my city? Because this is really where your focus needs to be, is on what is local. You have a great impact on what happens in your local area, in your village, your town, your city. Start there, and there will be a greater ripple effect outward.
Sounds like compassion is key.
Yes, precisely. Compassion is key. Compassion and coming into the heart. And we know that many humans are coming from their heart now, like the channel and like yourself. And you can do more of coming from the heart. And we know this is difficult living in a world where most are not. But many are saying that they are now wanting to live from the heart or are living from the heart, but are not, are still living from ego, fear. This is a push. And until more are living from the heart, there will continue to be more shadow that arises in humanity in a dictatorial manner. The more that humans continue to stay on an egocentric path, the more the shadow will express itself in a, and we repeat, dictatorial, dominant, patriarchal manner.
Thank you for that. Now, you mentioned Donald Trump being fearful. Where is that fear stemming from?
Ancestral wounds, his childhood. There is, as you would say, a long list of grievances. Money lack. Yes, those that have all the money in the world have lack. Lack, a lot of lack. Fear. He was taught fear by his elders.
Hmm.
He was not heard as a child. He was not regarded for his passions. He was expected to continue in the family lineage. He was expected to be something great and to build great wealth. He has his power today because of expectations. He's not really interested in being the president. He's interested in the payoff of being the president, the power that comes with it.
Hmm.
He is, of course, getting a big taste of his own shadow through that level of power. He is funding many, many corporations. He is the archetype, the front man, the talking head of many corporations that are all owned by the top echelon in your collective. He doesn't have a personal choice to be able to step down from becoming the president or not becoming the president. He is paid for it. He is contracted.
And is one of these contracts with the Kennedy family?
Yes, but that is a very underground, underhanded contract. But for those of you that have a higher level of consciousness, it is easy for you to see and know when these collaborations occur publicly. It's easy for you to see the agreements that go on under the table, so to speak.
Thank you. Anything else on this subject before we close that and move on?
No, that is all that is needed to be known at this time.
Well, we appreciate it. Now, speaking of compassion and coming back to the heart, is there any advice you can give how we can, or any practice to help one do that quickly, any time of day?
First, we don't recommend that anybody does heart work quickly. We comprehend what you are sharing, but quickly contradicts what you really want to do, which is to feel everything, because you're human to feel, and to feel first. This is the challenge being in a mental universe, is that source desires to learn to express itself through the heart and through feeling in a mental universe. And so we recommend and advise that you slow down and feel your emotions. Allow them to arise. It's a wide spectrum of emotions, so you have a potpourri which to choose from. Feel your emotions, express them. Be with yourself in your body as you express your emotions. Accept them. And as you express them, make sure that you are safe, that you are with yourself. And allow them then to integrate into who you are as you express them. And as you do this, circulation will begin to flow in your body. And you will feel more. And then we recommend that as you're feeling more, you walk through your day feeling more and more of your life experience. And as you interact with people, we recommend that you feel the connection with the others. This is an optimal practice in opening up the heart center. Feeling your emotions, feeling your connections with things, nature, feeling your connections with others. Your true strength comes through opening up your heart. The ego perceives this as being vulnerable and being weak. It is actually just the opposite. It is your strength. Vulnerability is not weak. Vulnerability is strength.
Thank you. Now, to put the focus a little bit on our channel's vessel, she mentioned that she has a rash on her face. Can you explain why that's manifesting?
Yes, this came up in her BQH session that she had previously, just recently. Part of it has to do with her father's side family lineage that's connected with religion. And there is an anger, a rage, and feeling, the ego's feeling of loss of control through the liver, toxic liver, through unprocessed rage through her father's side of the family. And this actually trails back all the way to Thoth the Atlantean and then the land of Kemet, which you think of as ancient Egypt. The other part of this that did not come up in her BQH session is that the channel will download a lot of information in a day through multiple mediums and not always give herself enough time and space to integrate the information into her cells. And so there is what you could think of as kind of an overflow or a runoff of information that kind of spills out into her bloodstream. And it needs to go somewhere. Circulation expresses through the skin, because the skin is the largest organ of the body, is a circulatory organ. So the information that is not been integrated will actually secrete through the pores and cause this rash. The rash is not out of control. It's literally just right around her nose and her mouth, which is all about the intake and the outward flow, inward flow and outward flow, basically the breath and what you would call prana or chi, life force, plasma.
Thank you. Do you think we could maybe assist her system to clear that faster?
We do not recommend to take a faster approach because her body is of density. But what we recommend is that she takes more breaks from her tech devices, which we've advised her to do before, and she doesn't like that. But we find that it's necessary for her to take some breaks from the devices when she's not using the device for her work, and to take a walk outside and breathe, and to take more time to lie down horizontal on her back, which she has not done enough of, and to take what she likes to call a shavasana, a corpse pose rest from her yoga practice. She does not take enough shavasana, corpse pose rest. She continues to push herself and go, 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 and do, do, do. This is her natural energy, but she needs to create more balance in taking more shavasanas, more rest time, and literally just 1 or 2 minutes here and there throughout the day will help to relax her body so that her body can be open to receive the information in her cells and to integrate the information. So it's actually the opposite of quickly. It is to slow down and to rest. And then, yes, the cells will quickly uptake or intake the codes that she's receiving. This is also a clue to her. This is another way for her to be able to receive her man who is coming in soon. The less busy she is, the more she will align with him. She's hearing this.
Good, good. I can attest that this channel is a busybody, so I love to hear that. And this human also is working on time, so thank you for the advice of slowing down. I think that'll be beneficial for many.
Yes, of course. She is so fast because She is a very quick energy, as are all of her other 8, what you would all call twin flames under the higher self, the higher mind, through the oversoul. They are all of very quick energy. They all have a tendency to behave in this way. Go, 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 do, do, do.
And what is the benefit of doing that or being that way?
It is Source's desire to experience itself in this way of being what you would call very mercurial, or like a fairy or a bee, busy as a bee, collecting pollen or collecting codes, data, information. She is one of those expressions of Source that is collecting information quickly. Your pollinators are physical expressions of these types of souls. Your butterflies and bees and yellow jackets and hornets and wasps and hummingbirds, etc.
That's a beautiful image. Thank you.
Everything is an expression of the oneness.
Yes. Now, she mentioned technology and work, which is a hard balance for many of us who work remotely. Let's talk about her work a little bit. Any advice of where to go next with her career, with her sharings, with her offerings?
She can continue to share what she does on her social media. We've also been bringing it in for her for some time now, and especially in this year of 2024, she's very aware of it, to begin a second YouTube and Instagram channels for her life and health coaching exclusively. She will get more clients through health and life coaching.
I support that. Thank you. How about our connection, Sonia and Kenneth? Will we be working more together?
Yes, you are to continue the YouTube channel that you have, Kenneth. Continue these talks. We recommend that you do these talks once a month. And for you and third your third member, the one that you call Nina, for the 3 of you to do your Trinity and do the tandem sessions. You can post those on all of your channels. If you want to do another channel, you can. It isn't necessary, but you may if you want to. And continue supporting each other, because through the support of each other's work is how you grow as healers and channels and teachers. And it's also how the algorithms pick up your content as well and put it out into the World Wide Web, the internet.
Mm.
You can also collaborate with other quantum healers outside of the 3 of you.
Yes, collaboration. I love that. And it's interesting how medias and technology, which is almost a device that separates us, is bringing us more and more together.
Yes.
Any other advice or sharings on her health and physical wellness?
She has amazing health. She has listened to us through her guides beautifully for most of her lifetime. This is why she needs to now create a separate extension of her business as a life and health coach. she will be very successful with this, as she does this already, but it will bring it to the next level because her health is very inspirational for others. And she will only become healthier through this work of being more of an exclusive life and health coach.
My body's tingling with resonation. I love that. Now, let's shift gears one more time and let's focus on 2025. I don't like the word predictions, but could you give any outlooks or messages for us collective humanity to expect or just focus on? Anything along those lines?
Your coming year of 2025 is going to be like a small peak. Climb the mountain of 2024, and you're able to sit a little bit at a horizon to be able to reflect back at 2024 and see where you learned positive things about yourself and negative things about yourself. And 2025 will be a year of a slight respite where you can focus on integrating all that you've learned about yourself in this very challenging year of 2024. Because you also have to prepare in 2025 for the next algorithm that's coming in 2026 and more.
Now, as we come to the end of our session here, is there any additional words of encouragement or anything for the collective?
Be kind to yourself within. Be aware of your inner mental dialogue. How do you think about yourself? How do you speak about yourself when you look in your mirror? How do you speak about yourself in front of others? Self-love needs to be your focus at this time. Self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-empathy. Be compassionate with the ego, but don't allow it to make your decisions. Comfort yourself when you need to be comforted. And we will continue to share that looking without for your answers is pointless. All of your answers are within you, and you will find them in the now moment, in spaces of quiet, with deep breath and reverence for the now.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anything else?
No, we are complete.
Now, before we bring Sonia's energy back into this body, is there any other closing thoughts or advice for her?
She's doing beautifully. Rest more.
Yes. Thank you.